Welcome, traveler. You have entered a realm of adventure. Prepare yourself for tales from beyond the dice.
I am your Dungeon Master Luke. Your players are Ben, Jeff, Peter, and Travis. This episode of Beyond the Dice is not a regular episode. Think of it as an introduction to the characters. We are going to run through some improvised scenes and roleplay how some of those characters first met. Recording this episode was a lot of fun. Just a bunch of mates acting as characters preparing for our Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Please excuse any of the weird shit we might have said, as everything was improv and nothing was re-recorded. We're now going to start with simple character introductions, and then we will move into scenes where our players will bring their characters to life. First, we've got Jeff.
My name's Jeff, and my character's name is Malcolm Gage. He's new to the city, and he is a human with a really keen sense of being able to see what's around him. He's a human from all appearances. Generally wears he wears dirty white shirt and brown coat and jeans. But if people that see him quickly notice that he's got a metal arm. So his left arm is completely metal, and
nice.
Yeah, he's new to town. He's a bit cold and a bit calculating. He was a detective, and now he's come to this town for a little bit of revenge.
Cool. So currently he's working as a mercenary to gather information to get some funds, and is that about it, or is there another reason that he might share with people why he's a mercenary?
Well, basically to get as much things like increasing magical ability and things like that. Getting the hardware costs a lot of money, a lot of currency just to get up there in that sort of stuff. So and being a mercenary is a really good way to find out the underbelly of just the environment and kind of what connections different companies have, and just increase funds as quickly as possible.
Now, him being a detective, is that general knowledge, or does he not tell people that? Is that something that the characters should know, or is it something that if they do know, it will come up in the scene between Gage and a character that he meets or he knows?
I think he's more likely to probably not know that he was an actual detective.
Okay.
It's more likely that he might say that he was a private investigator.
Cool.
But being a mercenary, but being a merc is more reliable income than a private investigator in a town that you don't know.
Definitely. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Next off, we will have. We're gonna have Peter.
All right. Hey everybody, my name's Peter. I'll be playing Spigston Denser. He's a dwarf. He's 45 years old. Pretty sort of bit younger than middle aged for a dwarf. He has white hair, a thick beard that juts out from his chin, a very thick mustache that's slightly curled on the ends. His hair also stands out. Starts off at a low fade around the scalp to a wild bloom of white sticking out on all ends due to static. One of the key features of Spigston is he's actually missing both legs. They were replaced with makeshift servo-skeletal mechanics, more like basically mech legs, sort of like a chicken walker. And he's suited up like a worker drone, basically. Short, duty, and robust. Several exhausts sticking out of the back for venting of the pistons. He wears black goggles, heavy ballistic vest, black gloves with the fingertips cut out, and on his neck, under his left cheekbone, is a tattoo of a hammer and a fist, the symbol of the clan Forgefather. He works, he's got a family store his wife and 2 children work at, which is the Dense Gadget store. which is in Darkhaven, one of the suburbs or city limits of New Etica. And basically he's a mercenary at the moment, is to support his family.
All right, perfect. Next off, we'll have Trav.
Hello, everyone. My name is Travis. My character's name is Little Moss. And, yeah, you can call me Little Moss. Even though I am 7 foot tall and 250 pounds of orcish, well, half orcish muscle. I don't really have much to do. I stand around a lot, usually out the front of bars, letting people in or out, stopping fights and such. I wear plain black, long sleeve to cover my braces, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool. So in the world, is Moss working as a mercenary yet, or is he sort of working as a mercenary but doing sort of lower level defense protection / bouncer jobs? Is that why?
Yeah,
he's,
pretty much.
Guarding
Yeah.
pubs and bars. Okay, cool, good. So he's sort of sticking on the small side of things at the moment. Sweet. And next off, we've got Ben.
Hi everyone. I'll be playing a human fighter called Cortain Manus. I am just around 30 years old, has medium length brown hair, and he grew up in the slums of the city called Darkhaven. And so he works as a mercenary in that area, trying to bring some sort of order and justice to a very, very downtrodden place.
So, Cortain would generally take jobs that are to, say, protect and serve, in a sense, rather than steal the said vehicle.
Depends. He has a very clear code of what he will not do. Like if it's to go and hunt down or kill someone who is in his eyes innocent, he will not do it. But if it is to go steal from one of the local gangs, they probably got their stuff by illegal and cruel means, so he wouldn't have any qualms about robbing them.
The night sky is dark, but with all the bright neon colours flashing and pulsing and flickering and lighting up the entire street in pinks and blues and oranges and yellows and greens. Moss, you are on your way to work. You're about to go to the bar. You can tell me what that bar's name is.
Rusty Knuckle.
The Rusty Knuckle, and you see a dwarf. He's out the front of his shop, and he kicks probably a teenager in a hood across the pavement. And a bunch of them go scampering away, and the teenager yells out, "Fuck you, old man!" And then he runs off into the night. The dwarf sort of looks up. You're across the other side of the road. The kids head down an alleyway into darkness, and you both make eye contact.
Old man metal legs.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you. The old man with the metal legs.
Yeah?
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, just, these bloody kids just running my store and trying to steal shit from inside. Have to keep my eye on them all the time, you know what I mean?
Well, if you ever need a hand with anything, you just call for Little Moss. He'll come running.
Suddenly, the teenagers arrive back. There are double the amount there. There are about 8 with pipes, chains, and one of them you can see has a knife. They sort of stop as they see Moss standing there, and they look over at the old man, and the teenager that yelled out across the street before says, "Yeah, I see you, old man, I'm back, and I brought all my pals with me."
It's like, stand back, old man. I got this. Hey, you! I call out to the oldest leader, the alpha male of the group.
Okay, so the one at the front that had been calling out to Spigs turns to you and says, "Hey, this is none of your problem. You can just piss off."
It's like, I could, or I could piss on you.
Get him! And then all the 8 teens start flooding over to Moss, besides the one leader who then heads over towards Spig slowly, with his knife glistening in the neon light.
I back towards the old man, and as each teen, like they're quite inexperienced, so they come at me one at a time. As they lunge or like jump towards me, I just use the force of their body and like redirect them like away. So like I don't actually hurt any of them, but if you can imagine me kind of picking them up and using their force to like shift them to the sides.
Yep. Yeah, cool. Like, sort of blocking their moves and using their momentum to, like, pretty much just let them fall over like run in another direction and all that sort of thing. Cool. So you do that, and they keep coming at you, and then a few of them get tired, and they just like, "Hey, screw this! I'm out of here!" And they all just they start to like run off one by one, except this main kid who's got his knife out, and sort of a bigger, burly one. Who has a pipe, and he points to the big half-orc in front of him. He pushes back his hood, and this teenager is also of half-orc blood, and he says,
"Hey, you should fuck off. You don't even talk like one of us. You're some sort of fancy orc of some sort. Get out of here."
It's clear that English isn't your strongest subject. Wait, no, common. Damn.
That's all good.
It's just like it's like I know
he comes at you with the pipe.
It's like I know that school's out, but you know it's never too late for a lesson. It's like you're gonna put that nail file away, or you're gonna come at me.
He grips his pipe harder, and you can see his muscles like flexing underneath his jumper, and he swings at you.
Easy block. Just like...
Yeah, he doesn't roll very well. You block it pretty easily. Would you just catch it?
I just catch it in one hand and bend it while it's still in nice. In his grip.
Cool. Just roll a strength check for me.
10.
10? Alright, so you bend it a little bit, not like crazy intimidatingly bent. You do bend it, but it's pretty thick pipe. So you're not used to having your hands on such a big thick pipe. You then tear it away from him and throw it on the ground. As you look beyond him, you see the knife-wielding teen, the loudmouth one, lurch at Spigs.
So Spigs pretty much notices the teen like coming towards him, and there's only one of them. He pulls out from behind his back as he was like chasing them out a big sort of hand cannon. He flicks the switch and it starts like powering up. He goes, "Oh, hey kid, you kids leave my shop alone!" And he fires his shot, which is like basically a black sort of web shoots out of it. It's actually a metal like net with like ball bearings on the end, and like spins towards the kid and like hitting him and like wrapping around his body and like making him fall to the ground, tying him up.
Okay, so he can't move out of the way quick enough. This net hits him, wraps around him. He sort of becomes incredibly stiff and he falls down to the ground. He's laying down on the ground. You can see he's with his knife. He's trying to cut through the net, and swearing at you, calling you names until he's getting tired, and you see him drop the knife, and he sort of just gives up and goes, "All right, old man. Fine. We won't bother with your stupid shop anymore anyway."
How about I just leave you there all tied up and get the patrol to pick you up?
No. You let me go. Hey man, there's no need for you to call the cops on me.
I'll call the feds on if I want, but if you promise to leave my shop alone, I'll let you off this once. You and your friends, all right?
Yeah. Just let me go.
Alright, pretty much just speaks, moves across really slowly, starts going on his legs, so goes all the way up, and he, with one hand, lifts up part of the net from behind, and making pretty much a tent hole for him to skirt out of.
Cool. The teen scrambles out of the net, tears in his eyes, and then he runs off down the alleyway that he came from, where some of his friends left.
Huh. Robot chicken's got game.
What's this robot chicken you speak of?
Half of you looks like a robot with chicken legs.
What are you saying? My injury makes me look like a chicken?
I mean, in terms of physiological structure, yes. I'm not saying you're a coward, which is a common thing to associate with a chicken.
You better not be. But I did appreciate the help anyway. I did notice you got don't have any sort of gauntlet some
You don't have exactly the thing that I interviewed you during
That's
this
the best.
roleplay
It's just
session.
you look like a man without braces.
you can see me I'll wait till we stop. Alright. It seems you can hold yourself against some little kids, but what about if we there was a whole bunch of fully grown other half orcs around here? I might have something that could help you out.
Hey, well, I mean, it was my pleasure. I don't mind anything for a good fight, but yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Alright, so Spigs enters his shop, you following behind him, and what does Moss see?
So you enter the store. There's a weird... Actually, I don't even think. Anyway. Basically, it's not like a door chime, but more it's just like a bleep. It hits like a trigger and the door bleeps as you enter. There's a bench immediately ahead. There's a whole heap of there's a cabinet as well underneath there's some belts, more pouches, some ammunition, a couple of weird gadgets so you're not sure what they are. And there's there's female dwarf standing behind the counter. She's also holding out another gun and was pointing at you as you entered, and then notices you're not one of the kids, so he lowers the weapon. She's a bit broad-shouldered, red hair, all braided back, and she's got quite, I guess, a nice smile for a dwarf. And then along the back, you can see in the back, just opens out in this open area with a whole heap of shelving on the sides, with a whole heap of random bigger sort of items on the shelf, from engine parts and semi half-made robotic arms and legs, and just random items all over there, and even larger items out the back with half-built computers and bikes, hover bikes and stuff out the back, half in disrepair, half junk. And yeah, so Spig kind of like ducks behind the counter and like rushes out the back and starts fumbling through one of the piles. Spig starts walking back up the front. He's bringing out this cylindrical bracer-like object with basically a sort of attached like a bulb, almost power cell on the side. He keeps swapping it in and out and playing around with half screwdriver, half plasma cutter, and then basically passes you, almost knocking into you as he's still playing around with it. Here's what I was looking for. It's this. It's gonna convert you if you put power into it. I saw the amount of energy you put through. You can kind of convert it, the extra energy, and do like either some sort of element depending on what globe you put into it on the side. See this thing? And then whatever it'll exhaust it out of these ports at the front here, and like when you punch something, it's gonna like, you know, if I set it to lightning at the moment, so yeah. So when you power it up, you punch something, and then the lightning comes out the front when you're punching.
Set it to lightning? You had me at punch something. Nice. That's gonna be shocking.
Oh, you crack me up, you half-orc. What was your name?
Well, they call me Little Moss, but you can call me Moss.
I think I'll just call you Little Moss, because otherwise it get confusing. Anyway, thanks again for the help.
I got some serious fucking swagger going on. Just like, oh yeah, bitchin' braces.
Been asked by sort of an old friend to go to a particular building. It's a house of eroticism. Okay, it's called the Purple Dragon.
Yeah.
You are to collect an old friend. Or a friend of a friend, if you will, from the Paladin days. He's a little bit of a drunk. He tends to get himself into trouble. He's not really doing the work that he should be. And you got a call from somebody at the Purple Dragon saying, this guy is here again. You guys need to get him out. You were close by, and a friend gave you a call and said, hey, can you get Jacko? Can you get Jacko out of the Purple Dragon?
Jacko, not again.
Yeah, you pull up out the front of the establishment, and you see Jacko, and yeah, he's just been thrown out by bouncers, and he's wailing on them big time. You see a half-orc that has just been booted in the chest, a human, and a half-elf holding Jacko by his arms, and Jacko's incredibly drunk. His shirt is torn. There are spills all over it. He's yelling incoherently. He then throws one of them to the ground, and he's huge. Jacko's massive. Some people think he's half-orc, but he's just really muscly. And the guy's probably like 55 as well, so he's really built for an older guy. So he throws the half-elf to the ground, and then he points at somebody up on the stairs of the Purple Dragon, yelling something incoherent. The half-orc, which is Moss, stands up and says,
just because you've got whiskey dick, old man, it's no reason to take it out on me. Well, it's like a windsock situation. Mate, you can't get in the door if you know what I mean.
Alright. Cortain, what do you do? As the half-elf gets up, slams a baton in Jacko's stomach, Jacko thrashes out and pulls a pistol and points it at the half elf.
Okay, so this is the outside of the establishment.
Yeah, this is outside.
Okay, I've parked the car on the other side of the road, this small alleyway, kind of single lane road. Get out, just walk over to him. Like, I just yell across, like, Jacko, what are you doing?
He like looks around and he's like,
I'll fucking kill one of these bastards if they put a hand on me again.
I look to the other guys and just look to the half-orc who made the humorous remark a few seconds ago. And just say, just go back inside. I'll deal with this. He's an old friend. He gets touchy when he's had a few in him. I'll sort this out.
Jacko says,
None of us are going inside. We're having a fight here.
Okay, Jacko, give me your gun, and then I'll fight with you. Want to make sure this is all kosher. No guns, but I'll be with you.
Cortain, this is my favorite gun. You're not having my favorite gun.
Too bad it fires blanks, old man.
Just holster it, Jacko.
he points the gun at the half-orc and he says,
Stop wisecracking me, man. Stop wisecracking me.
As he has turned his attention to the half-orc, I've known Jacko for a long time. I know that he's got an injury in his left shoulder. So I grab his right arm, which he's like, so I just kind of slowly move behind him. He's quite drunk, so he doesn't realize. I grab his right arm, move it up, so the gun is now facing the sky, grab his other arm, twist it behind his back, knowing that that position for his arm is going to cause excruciating pain.
Cortain, you bastard!
he fires one into the air.
I then kick him in the back of the knee.
He falls to the ground, dropping his gun, and just face first into the ground, and a little bit of vom comes out, and he's like,
Cortain, get these bastards for me.
as he's knocked out.
I turn to these bastards here, that as he refers to them, and say, look, I'm sorry for my friend here. If I just drag him in, leave him at the door, and I buy you a round of drinks, can we call this all square?
Sure.
Sweet, let's go.
So you drag Jacko up, leave him by the door.
Like inside the door, so he's not just going to get rubbed or stabbed by
okay, cool.
urchin.
So he's laying. He's in the cloakroom pretty much. You walk
You have to
inside.
take a ticket, otherwise you won't get him back.
I might not want him back.
Fair enough.
You walk inside. You know, there's a bar set up and people dancing and shit like that. And you sit down. No, not even. You stand at the bar as the bartender comes up and she asks, "What are you having tonight, boys?"
I'm a bit awkward. I don't really know where to look.
He's an orc.
So I just sort of stare at the bar.
Hey, don't you work here? You can't be drinking on your shift.
No, the other guy that I work with, whose name is Steve.
Craig?
Oh, Craig, that's right. He's covering for me. He said that I can go home early because I have.
Can you roll deception for me?
Okay. Deception. 16.
16?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Whew. I mean, yeah.
So what are you drinking?
My friend's buying. It's up to him.
What's going on, mister?
Just bring 2 whiskeys, please.
Whiskey it is. She turns around, grabbing a bottle. She puts, some ice cubes in there, pours it in, about a shot's worth, maybe a little bit more. She slides the 4 drinks over to you because, you said all 4 boys. You pay her accordingly. The human and the half-elf, they're like nod to you and say,
Hey, yeah, thanks for helping us out. That guy was a real mess.
Yeah, he's seen some troubled times, so please don't hold it against him. But I can understand that you wouldn't want to deal with a drunken 50-year-old.
The half elf then, like wide-eyed, looked at you guys, and then he goes, "So who's watching the front door?" And then the half elf and the human like slam their drinks down and then scramble off to the front door to guard it.
I say, you keep some pretty interesting friends.
Yeah, he was an old friend from back in the days where I was with the Order of the Aegis.
What's that?
It's one of the groups down in Darkhaven that try to keep the peace.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So like Neighborhood Watch.
Kinda, but like super badass, like where
Ah.
carry around like swords and shit.
Man, that must have been exciting. What's the coolest fight you've ever had?
Let's see. There was one time that we took down a drug ring. It was that new drug called Red. That drug that just caused you to lose all concept of reality. The one that turns people really violent. We broke down the doors of a warehouse full of the stuff, and just had a huge gun out with a huge shootout with just an entire gang of people. Half of them hopped up on this drug. It was pretty scary.
So did they wouldn't experience fear or anything like that?
No, half of them would just keep running, even though you would pump shots into them.
That's boss.
The bartender, she leans in and she says, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. Well, my cousin, he was working down there. He said that there were like some sort of like crazy rage zombies or something. But like not zombies, because zombies, they're not real, but you know."
Yeah, thankfully we were able to take out the main supplies of Red Eye. So that was a long time ago.
And you're telling me that worn-out old drunk helped you?
He led the attack.
Oh.
But that was a long time ago. I haven't had much to do with them since then.
So what happened to him?
He's in retaliation. His wife was killed.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, mister.
No, that's okay.
It's okay, I killed her.
But yeah, that was a long time ago. I haven't had much to do with them. I run more of a small time kind of mercenary operation now.
Well, you sound like a good man, looking after your friends. If you ever need a hand with anything, I'm your man.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I mean, you look like you can hold yourself in a fight.
Yeah, I go hide in a corner and hold myself.
"Well, look at all this bromance that's going on here," the bartender says as she asks you, "Do you guys want another drink?"
I'd say, no, I probably shouldn't. I should go take Jacko back to his house.
"Alright, big guy. And, Moss, I'll see you another night." And she turns and she starts serving some other people that were waiting for some drinks while she was listening to you guys.
I blush and follow. Wait, what's your name, mister?
Oh, Cortain. And what should I call you?
They call me Little Moss. You can just call me Moss.
Okay, then, Little Moss.
Oh, that's good. We'll leave that roleplay just there. That's perfect. Alright, Gage, let's go through your scene. You had a taxi following a ground car through the streets of Darkhaven. The car in the target car or the subject car pulled over next to a small sort of shopping mall. They sit there for a little while. You hang back in the taxi, and then the car waits for the roller door of a garage a few buildings up open. The car then moves and pulls up onto the driveway where the roller door is. 4 men get out and head inside the garage. Now, you've been sent to wait for a call that one of these men are going to make. They're going to be calling a weapons dealer to say that they're about to secure the building. You're supposed to intercept that call and trace it to where the weapons dealer is. there is a mercenary group that are going to hammer down on this weapons dealer, and you're pretty much the guy that sends them the location. As you exit the taxi, cross the road, past all the traffic, and head into the small alleyway next to the garage, you hear the guys continue up a set of stairs. You go inside the garage. You are hiding behind a box, and we'll start there.
Yeah. So Gage is like looking around, trying to find like the best place to get like a direct access link, like so that he can, because a lot of protection works at like secure, like online protection. There's a lot of protection from outside, but the best thing to do is try and get like a direct network access to the system as a whole, and then he can leave. So he kind of like he looks around. Are there any kind of like telecommunication systems or anything that these guys are using to try and have access to on the ground floor? Is he inside already?
You're inside the garage.
Yeah.
There's a car sort of sitting up on a jack. The front wheels are off and the bonnet's up. There is like a wall panel which has pretty much a telephone built into it, touchscreen sort of device, and then diagnostic tools for cars and such.
All right.
That's on a separate desk, sort of near the car, not near not near the device on the wall.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so there's two devices. One on the wall for like the main like network or router or something like that, and then another one near the car.
Yeah, so the one near the car is a diagnostic tool, and the one on the wall is pretty much like the intercom.
Okay. Well, he's going to Gage is going to make his way over to the wall to like the net, trying to get main access to the network. And he kind of like.
Do you want to roll stealth for me? Cool.
9.
9?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So you make your way over towards the wall. You don't see this little toolbox that's resting on a sort of workbench. You nudge it, and a spanner falls. But just before it does, your robotic hand sort of like not flicks it, but just pokes it, so that it's about to fall. Your robotic hand pokes it, sort of like an automatic reflex, and it doesn't fall onto the ground.
Okay. He makes his way over to the box then, and now that he's there, I'm going to use remote access. So it takes about it's a ritual, I think. It takes about 10 minutes. Basically, he's going to use that to try and like gain access to it, to try and like get into the network, like brute force his way in through that. So it's like so it takes about 10 minutes to try and access, and then like once he's going to try and gain access so he can like connect it up with his main system that he can see in his vision. So he's got robotic eyes, by the way. I should have mentioned that before as well. So he's got like standard issue robotic eyes and can access like a computer graphical user interface from there. So he's working on that. And yeah.
So what does the spell entail?
So I actually didn't need direct access to it, but the remote access, which is technomagic spell, you can use any electrical device within range as if it was in your hands. This is not a telekinesis effect. Rather, this spell allows you to simulate a device's mechanical functions electronically. You're able to access. Yeah. So
that's cool. So you access it. Your the user interface of the wall device is now in your augmented reality layer.
Yep.
And you want to roll like Arcana or something to hack it?
Yep.
Cool. Or are you just going to use it and like try and intercom up to wherever these guys might be? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah. I want to use it to access the intercom to try and overhear what they're saying.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to roll for that. You just turn on the camera in the second level. You see that nobody's there, but you do see a pair of legs, wearing black sort of suit pants, head upstairs to the next level. So then you go and you transfer the video feed to from the third level to your augmented reality layer, and you see the 4 guys. One is on the stairs with a sort of submachine gun, and there's another guy coming up with a submachine gun. The other 2, one sits down in a sort of old armchair with like rips and sort of tufts of fluff poking out of it. He lifts his arm up. He's sort of flicking, like with his hand, flicking through what might be a user interface in his augmented reality layer. You can't really see it. Yeah, you may be able to adjust this camera to be able to read some of it. Otherwise, what you're mainly looking for is the call, the signal that one of these guys will make outgoing to the weapons dealer. The 4th guy walks over to the window, looks around. He's got a rifle, and he's just sort of scoping out the place. Alright, so he looks over towards you, which means he looks over towards the intercom, and he like turns his head one way, and then he sort of looks closer and starts walking towards it. He comes straight up to the intercom, and he sort of taps on the screen.
Yeah, so he starts to move to... Because he's got remote access, he doesn't need to directly stand there anymore. So he can... He accesses it and sees what he can see and tries to find a good spot to try and move before the guy gets to him.
Behind like a tool cupboard. Like, those really tall tool
behind the desk?
cupboard sort of case things?
Yep.
You move behind one of those.
Yep.
As you see the guy tap on the screen, he turns the intercom on, and he flicks between the different channels. First floor, where you are. He's looking through the camera. Second floor, nothing. Third floor, fourth. He sort of shrugs in a way and turns the intercom off. It's blank. You can turn it back on again if you want, but at the moment it's turned off in the third level.
What I'm going to do is I'm gonna like hack into it some more, so that if it gets turned, and just get the feed kind of looping on itself, so that if he turns it back on, it will just show what's already there. Does he need... I don't know if I need to make my way up the stairs to try and get any closer to the situation. There's 4 dudes with guns. I can already see them and hear them. So basically, only the 4th floor will have active cameras running. Everything else will be on a loop.
So you turn it back on.
Mm-hmm.
You set the loop.
Yep. Do you want me to roll Arcana for that?
Yeah, I would say roll Arcana for that one.
Cool. Oh, critted. First
Nice.
roll, or second roll of the game, already critted, so 26.
It's perfect. Cool. So he goes back over to the intercom, seeing that a little light has turned on again, and he taps, and he's like, "Why does this keep turning on? These stupid things." And he keeps tapping, and he can't turn it off. For some reason, he's like, "It must be busted." He goes back to the window, and the guy who was sort of, controlling his AR that you couldn't see, he says to the other guys, "I'll be making the call pretty soon, so get into your positions." Probably about 3 minutes later, he taps on his AR, he pushes on just below his temple, and you see sort of a light ring around a little circular part next to his sort of temple near his cheekbone. You notice that there's a call being made 3 levels above you that's outgoing.
Oh, okay, so I haven't intercepted that at all, right? So I can't actually pick up on what it is.
He's just making the call right now, so you can try and hack that.
Okay, so he's accessing the same network. So I'm going to try and just get the router to reroute through myself, so that the message is coming through me and then going out through the network.
Okay, cool.
From there.
Yep.
Cool. Arcana again.
Yeah.
18.
Okay. So the router sort of pings off you in a way. The message is going through you before it gets out.
Yep.
He makes the call. He says,
Yeah, 3rd level. You get here in 15 minutes. We'll do the deal. You end up with a bunch of money. I end up with the guns that I need. And everyone will be happy.
and you hear the other side, the guy comes back with,
20,000 credits. Untraceable. I'll see you soon.
You get the call. You can save that if you wish. You can grab the location of where the call went, and you can send it out.
Yep. Yeah, I do that. So, encrypt it and send it through the normal channel to send it to my contractor. Now, did I need to actually try and intervene in this thing, or did I just need to get out?
You just need to get out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and stealth my way out of there.
Whoa! Okay. Just as you go to stealth your way out, I rolled 2 18s because this thing has advantage.
Oh no.
You turn around, and in front of you, you see a drone. And just as you turn out, look out past this toolbox, this drone flies in through the front. It may have been flying around outside, maybe on the 4th level or above the building. And just as you look out, it looks at you. And you hear the network, because it's running through you, and an alarm sounds in the network. You then see in all your cameras those guys turn towards the stairs, pointing their weapons, charging down, and through the roller door, 2 other drones come down. These ones are fire drones, so they're they have 2 sort of pistol round guns on them. The first one is to scan, locate, and the other 2 drones are usually to fire and destroy a target. They start firing at you.
So are they all running through the network? So they look like they're controlled by it?
No, they're not in the same network.
Okay.
They have a link to the guy upstairs who made the call, but it's not on the same network. Now, Cortain, let's just say that you are cruising past in your Jeep down the street, and you see these 2 sort of drones fly up from the top of the building down, and they're strafing through the air whilst firing into the building.
Okay. What time of day is it?
Nighttime.
Nighttime. Okay, so seeing that these attack drones have been released, I pull the car up onto the curb slightly, hitting a puddle as then the wheel then pops up onto the side of the street.
Yep.
Quickly push my door open, get out, taking my shotgun revolver out of the back.
Yep.
And then grabbing my scabbard and putting it onto my belt.
Nice.
So then I grab my shotgun and slowly make my way around to the front of the car, using it as cover, seeing that there is some sort of altercation happening. In Darkhaven, I mean, brawls and gang fights are one thing, but to see attack drones is a fair commodity among the gangs.
Definitely. And another thing is, there is a car that's parked. These drones are flying above it, strafing back and forward, firing into this garage. And this ground car is definitely on the high end of ground cars. It's not a sports car. This car is generally used by higher level organized crime, crime syndicate members, organizations, company, high-level company people. Generally, the people who, either the rich or the people who are causing the trouble on the streets.
Yeah. So I slowly make my way, move to behind a fire hydrant. Thankfully, because I have several enemies and know that Darkhaven is not a safe place, even when I'm driving in my Jeep, I will be wearing most of my armor. So I see the 2 drones moving down. Do I see anyone? Do I see who they're shooting at?
You don't have dark vision or anything like that, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the outside street's fairly lit with neon signs and that sort of thing. There are obviously dark spots, like this sign above the garage and the few buildings afterwards. They're not lit, so they're completely dark. The drones have lights on them, but they must be. They're not like. They have dark vision in a sense, so they're firing into the garage. From where you are looking in, you can't really see who they're firing at. You see flashes of a person who's taking cover behind a tool chest, but that's it.
Okay. So the drones, what level are they hovering at the moment?
They're probably about 6.5 foot off the ground.
Okay.
So ground floor.
Yeah, ground floor. Yeah.
So I will move forward with the shotgun. These drones are hugely illegal, dangerous. I can tell from the car and these drones that this is obviously some sort of criminal enterprise.
Oh yeah, these drones, they're not to be used in the streets unless it's by a private security force. But generally it has to be on private property. So you would see these drones protecting a corporation building and that sort of thing. These ones aren't in as good nick. They don't look as high gloss with logos on it and that sort of stuff. They're sort of painted a matte black.
I will move to the side of the street next to one of the buildings. I will use it with my right arm. I will activate my shield. So envisioning running up the length of my forearm a thick casing that kind of rotates circularly into and forms a small interlocked shield.
Yeah, cool.
That I then also have a small brace on the inside for. So grab that, hold it up, grab the shotgun, and seeing the drones firing into the building at this person that's hiding behind the toolbox, I then fire the shotgun into the side of one of the drones.
Alright, cool. Just roll a hit.
That is a 13.
Cool. You would definitely hit it. So you hit this drone, blasting it to pieces. You sort of hit it where one of the sort of circular rotary wings were. It spins, crashing into the ground, exploding, sending little bits of flame and debris across the garage floor. Gage, you see one of the drones be taken out by somebody from outside. The other drone turns to converge on Cortain with the inside drone, which is sort of lighting Cortain up. So the drone that you first saw inside the garage, it's sending out, and you can see it, it's sending out an outline of Cortain and yourself in AR, so that anybody who has that AR layer or that frequency can see your outline. You guys hear the shouts of men that are running down from the floors above.
So can I okay, so Gage grabs his sidearm and just seeing that there were 2 drones and now there's 1, right?
No, there were 3. There were 2 assault drones and then there was a single scout drone.
And the scout drone is the one that's putting out the AR?
Yes, and one of the assault drones is dead.
Okay. So seeing like choosing his target quickly, and while they're analyzing, there's 2 targets. I'm gonna Gage is gonna pop out of cover and try and pick one off with his pistol.
Which one are you going to hit?
The scout.
Sweet.
Only a 7.
7? Alright, so just as you point your gun in your peripheral, your AR sort of flicks up a quick caution over to the left, and you see one of the men come down the stairs, flicking out his submachine gun in your direction, and he fires. You dodge, but your shot goes stray. Do you want to roll again? Like as you dodge, you spin around behind a pillar. You can take another shot.
Yep. Does that did that hit me at all?
Didn't hit you. You dodged it.
Okay. Cool. All right. It's gonna shoot again. Actually, yeah.
You can change targets if you want. Otherwise, you can go for the same one.
No, I was gonna change. I was gonna do a spell, but I don't think that's right. I'll shoot again.
Cool.
Shooting. Cool. 20. Get a crit.
Nice. So this drone spins around to lock on and shine actually shine a light on you, because the inside the garage is pretty dark. And just as it turns, you line up straight with his sight, and you fire one single bullet. It pierces the drone's its iris and into its core. It drops to the ground. Sitting there, you see the lights on it go out, and then it explodes. Just as you're watching it fall from the ground, you quickly turn and you sort of roll across the ground, firing, and you fire one single bullet, and it lands right between the eyebrows of the man who was shooting the submachine gun at you. As you roll up, you hide behind that sort of work desk that you almost knocked the spanner off, as three other men come down the stairs, with one with a rifle, the other with a submachine gun, and the third one with a pistol. And they all hide sort of behind some walls and barrels and stuff. Cortain, there is one more attack drone, and you see 3 men come down the stairs as the guy who was being fired upon in the garage destroys one drone, blasts another guy in the face. What do you do?
So the gun drone now, without a targeting drone, do I have any knowledge about how that's going to... Is it going to be able to target me now effectively, or is it more or less pacified?
It's gonna have difficulty finding new targets.
Okay, new targets, but not existing targets. Okay.
Correct.
Then I will move up, fire the shotgun into the drone again, and then turn, if that is successful, turn to this man who is being shot at and yell at him to get out.
Alright, go ahead.
I got a crit. Nat 20.
Nice.
So you you fire the shotgun, destroying this drone. It's as it's firing, because it actually fires at you as you sort of blast its friend out of the air. It's when it's spinning out of control, some bullets go stray, and you see them land into one of the men who was hiding behind some barrels. He falls onto the ground, his rifle skittering across the ground, and you call out to the man in the garage saying...
I yell out to him and say, "Get to the car!" as I then leg it to my Jeep.
Get to the chopper.
Yes.
Nice. Cool, so, Gage, you...
So Gage, can I do things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. He's gonna just book it and just run, knowing that, and as he does so, he's, something comes out of his shoulders a little bit, like kind of like little bits of metal, and you can't really see what they are. But if it's reaction ability, so he's just gonna dash out, but as a reaction, he's got a shield if he gets hit.
Oh, yep.
So I don't know if it's get attack of opportunity. I'll let you. But he decides that it's safest to just run as fast as possible to get out of there. He's way outgunned.
Cool. The guy with the pistol, the guy who made the call, he fires but completely misses you. The guy with the submachine gun fires. It'll hit you, but it hits your shield.
Yeah. So as the bullet like comes, there's like a high velocity sensor that runs on his back, and then just before the bullet is about to hit, this like blue power like shines from his back and repels the bullet away. Oh, actually, sorry, it gives me an AC bonus, so I don't know if it will actually repel the bullet.
Maybe it's like, you know, in like sci-fi movies when there's like a shield and it looks like a hex grid.
Yep. Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Like, yeah. So it boosts my AC to 17.
Yeah, cool. So
it's like a hex grid just comes up.
Yeah.
We can add in that later.
Yeah, we can add that in if we do some Foley work.
Yeah.
So these bullets, like three or four bullets, slam into the hex grid, and they just like sort of flick off in all other directions away from you. You make it to the car. Cortain is sort of got his door open, I'm guessing, and like, you know, weapons out covering you. As you get to the car, you jump in the passenger seat, and then Cortain, you just get in and speed away, or what?
Yeah.
Wait. As he's running towards the car, like Gage, what car?
Am I behind like the bonnet of my car with the door open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Alright,
he is,
then
yeah.
he doesn't. Oh, sorry. I thought you were outside. In the alley.
You just go into
Cool.
the Ferrari car.
No, he jumps into the Jeep.
Okay. I then throw the shotgun in the back, get into the car, slam the door. The engine roars as I then speed off down the street. One hand on the wheel, I grab out my revolver, rest it on my arm, pointing it at the newcomer into my car. And while I'm eyes on the road, just yell like, "Why were you in that building?" As I now have a revolver trained on his face.
Hey guys, thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. In our next episode, we'll be starting the campaign. So it will be thick with skill checks, battle, and of course, roleplay. Our characters will begin at level 1, and hopefully I don't get a TPK in the first session. But if I do, we'll figure something out, I guess. You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/btdpod. This is where we'll be posting any news or new videos or any news. We also like to take some photos of RPG and Dungeons & Dragons related things. So go have a look at our Instagram at Beyond the Dice. Head on over to our website, www.beyondthedice.com.
Well, wasn't that fun? I'm Crux, the interdimensional demon bard, and I'll be seeing you soon, traveler.